Hey, we're here with senior Sam Skillingstad from Spokane, Washington. This Saturday is UCLA, the final game of the regular season. The Ducks face the number 14 Bruins for the third game of a three-game set, noon start. Before the game, we'll also have a senior day recognition for 5 special players here, and Sam's one of them. So let's go back to the very start for you. When you started playing softball, what age, where were you at, and what positions did you play?
I was always a pitcher. When I was little, I worked so hard with my dad. I was terrible. I think my parents really wanted me to quit. I would practice in our living room with socks all day and all night. I broke a few fans and a few vases, which my parents weren't very happy about. But I stuck with it, and it got me to this beautiful place.
What were some of the first funny moments you had back at the very start?
I remember one game, I was just doing awful. I walked every single batter in, I want to say, and we ended up losing that game. And the next day, something clicked. It was right before a regional tournament, and everything just clicked and came into play, and I felt good, and I was just throwing strikes and really boosted my confidence up, and that's why I kept going.
So no other positions ever, just pitched the whole time?
I pitched, and I played first base. First base was kind of my, take a break position, and I could, just catch a ball, a little ground ball here and there, so it was kind of nice to hang out on first base every once in a while and hit. I missed hitting.
You were one of the accomplished preps in the Northwest, and I think you were a national team All-American, and also obviously an All-State pitcher there too. How did your high school career go for you?
High school was fantastic. My coach, when I was growing up, was also my high school coach, and we had such a great relationship. And him and another coach, D. Fountain, got me here today, along with my dad. But high school was fantastic. Allie Berger and I run a state championship together, and we made a lot of success and put Shadle Park High School on the map, and had a lot of victories and just a lot of great memories.
When you're looking for a college to go to, what was the things that led you to Oregon?
What led me to Oregon was the staff here at the time. This environment was just so welcoming and so warm, and the facilities were obviously phenomenal. But this just felt like home. It was such a good fit as far as my majors went, as far as academics go. It was just a really good fit. Everyone was so welcoming, and it just felt like a big family.
Talk about the recruiting trip.
My recruiting trip was fantastic. Obviously a lot of food. The football game was definitely a highlight. Going onto the field for that first time with the crowd and Autzen Stadium rockin' is one of my favorite moments being here at Oregon. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and experience to be on the field and be a part of that history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What game was that?
Oregon was playing Cal.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't remember the score, but I know we won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also, who were your hosts and what players did you meet on that trip?
I was with Hannah Burrill, she's back in Alaska, but I was with Hannah, and we were in that old 1855 house.
Mm-hmm.
So I was with Mo and Brittany Rumfelt and VTech and Nina, and that was my trip. And yeah, Hannah and I had a great time. We're a lot alike, so we just kind of relaxed. We're kind of quiet, but we had a good time.
You were a key part of this team here for as far as two super regional trips there, and also some other great games there. What are some of the highlights for you looking back those first 3 years?
Looking back at the first 3 years, I know I had a pretty great performance against Stanford a few years ago. My pitch count wasn't very good. It was really high pitch count, but I worked my butt off that game. And I think we went to extra innings. We might have lost, but worked my butt off. And then Jessica Moore and I, shout out to Jessica Moore, we shared that shutout game against Washington last year, number 1 Washington last year. So that was definitely a highlight of my career.
Now, I know last summer you had a trip abroad there. Talk about how that went for you and also kind of what happened after that, too.
Where?
The trip abroad to Europe last summer?
I played in a league in Holland last year in the Netherlands, and it was a great opportunity. I got a chance to go overseas and just see what that culture and environment was on all aspects as far as athletics go. Softball's a lot different over there, but it made me appreciate the work ethic and the attitudes that we have here in the States, and especially at the University of Oregon.
And also, I think you might have had an injury though over there?
Yeah, unfortunately I injured my back, herniated a couple discs in my back, but it's all about perseverance and being able to bounce back and work with what you got, so just trying to get back.
How are you doing now physically?
Physically, I'm doing a lot better. As you can see, I can sit down, and I haven't been able to sit down for a long time. About 9 months I've been in rehab. But I've had great support as far as staff goes with Clay Jameson and Brad and James Harris. They've all been such a great support staff and advocates, including Slocum Surgery Center and rehab facilities have been great.
You've also been one of the team's top performers off the field too, academically in the classroom with a lot of all Pac-12, all academic honors, and I'm sure that's pretty special for you too. What's your direction as far as the future with jobs or careers?
I'm finishing up a double major in education and communication and sciences disorders. I'm hoping to go into speech pathology and get my master's in speech pathology. I'm hoping to work in a school district somewhere and help children develop their speech.
How has the student teaching gone so far?
Student teaching's great. I'm in a kindergarten classroom right now, so I've just been working with the little guys, and they just warm my heart.
Who's your favorite kid in the class?
There's this little kid named Freeman. He's this little redhead with all these cute freckles, and we always talk about aliens and all of these funny shows that he watches, so we hang out a lot.
Do any of your kids ever come out and watch you play?
I've had a few kids come out and watch me play. Unfortunately not this year, but I always bring in posters for them and try to tell them that I'm on the team and talk sports with them.
Do any of the girls play softball yet?
Some of the girls play. They're more into t-ball, so a few of them are always like, "Oh, Sam, help me." So that's kind of fun.
Have you guys got out and ever watch them play or practice?
I've been out to one practice, yes. Yeah, it was fun.
How was that for you?
It was fun. The girls were always so excited, and it's just whenever I can give back to the community in that sense and be a role model for somebody, it's always such a rewarding aspect. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to be a collegiate athlete, was to be a role model for younger girls.
I know that this team and also the OGirls have been great as far as keeping the players out in the community. What are some of the memories from that you want to go back to?
I remember a few years ago we worked out with Shelley Dedman in a reservoir and helped rehabilitate some trees and whatnot around the pond. So we worked a lot in the environment that way, and also just going into classrooms and reading books to children. Just seeing them light up with athletes is a really great feeling.
Which books did you read today?
They were doing, I think it was right about Easter time, so I read an Easter Bunny book, so that was pretty fun. And we just, picked out, what their favorite egg was, or, what they knew about the Easter Bunny.
That's awesome. I know this is a special place to be an athlete at, and there's probably a lot of people you want to thank, whether it be coaches or players or family or friends or even academic and tutors too. Yeah. So go ahead and read off the list right now.
Absolutely. I would love to thank the coaches here at Oregon for giving me this opportunity. I'd also like to thank Becky Sicily for all of her work and her efforts and what she's given back to our sport and other sports, obviously. I would like to thank our staff here as far as treatment goes. Clay Jameson has been such a huge advocate for me, and I really, really appreciate everything that he's done. And Brad, of course, always. Dr. Skaggs. And I'd like to thank Dietrich Moore. You have saved my life in so many sticky situations and so many panicked phone calls. I hope that, I can be a role model for a few of your upcoming athletes, and if you ever need anything, let me know. Yeah. I'd like to thank Leanne and people who do things in compliance. I know that their job's not as easy and they don't get to always come to the field, but really appreciate the things that you do there. I'd also like to thank Rick and Debbie Jeffries. They've been such a huge part of my life while I've been here at the University of Oregon. I'd like to thank my teammates, of course, for helping building this program and really putting it on the map and where we want to be in the next few years. We're really building that path for a future of this program, which I think is such a huge compliment. And I would like to thank Jordan Reeves for being the best roommate ever, and just the people that I've met here. Lastly, I'd like to thank my family and friends back home who have always supported me and held my hand throughout the way. It's been a rough year, but it's been a good one. It's going to end strong. I'd like to thank just coaches and family members. The Lynn family back home, George and Karen Lynn, been second family to me in my softball career, and Steve Fountain, my pitching coach the last 18 years, and my dad for catching how many bullpens on a bucket, and my mom for always just supporting me and pushing me to do my best, and my little sister for catching some horrific bullpens, but always having my back and being a great sibling. So thank you so much.
What the fans here to Oregon too?
Fans, always. You guys' support. One of the reasons why I came to Oregon was because of the fan support. No matter where you go and you see a O, you know you're welcome, and you can connect with them in that sense because you know you're a fan for life or a Duck for life.
That's awesome. The Ducks play Thursday and Friday at 6 p.m. against UCLA.
Yes.
Then again on Saturday at noon. Look forward to seeing you there on the field one last time.
Yeah, go Ducks.